This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.
Welcome back. It was an exciting few days while the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge had their first official visit last week, leaving the country still abuzz with energy. Our Tyler Simonet was able to cover the royal visit and gives us an overview of their memorable trip.
A royal visit coupled with a royal tour for the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge in the Bahamas ended Saturday evening with Prince William and Kate Middleton waving farewell as they board a United Kingdom Royal Force plane shortly before 10 p.m. The couple arrived in the Bahamas on Thursday on the last stop of their Caribbean tour in honor of Queen Elizabeth II's Platinum Jubilee, which celebrates 70 years of her ascension to the throne. They arrived at the Sir Lyndon Pinling International Airport and were greeted by government officials, including Governor-General Sir Cornelius A. Smith, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation Chester Cooper, Attorney General Ryan Pinder, High Commissioner to CARICOM Leslie Miller-Bryce, and a number of other high-ranking Bahamian officials and delegates. They then paid a courtesy call on Prime Minister Philip Davis, who noted that the meeting was interesting and matters of mutual interest were discussed, including the country's position on climate change. The following day, Friday, the royal couple made their way to Civil Strawn Primary School, where they participated in a tree planting ceremony. They then met with healthcare workers at the Garden of Remembrance, and though the rain poured that day, the Duke and Duchess then attended a cultural show on Bay Street that featured the color and sounds of Junkanoo. They interacted with a large crowd of Bahamians who waited in the downpour hoping to catch a glimpse of the royal couple. They were then taken to Montague Beach, where both the Duke and Duchess took part in the Queen's Platinum Jubilee Regatta, which the Duke later said he came in first. The royal couple ended their day by attending the Governor-General's reception at the Bahamar Convention Center. The reception was attended by parliamentarians, Bahamian icons, former prime ministers, and current political leaders. Prince William commended the warmth and generosity of the Bahamian people. On Saturday, the royal pair flew to Abaco for a number of activities, the main being a memorial ceremony for victims of Category 5 Hurricane Dorian. After placing a wreath in the Dorian Memorial Gardens and speaking to Dorian survivors, the couple went to the Dundastown Fish Fry to get a taste of Bahamian cuisine and interact with dozens of Abaconians who waited on the sidelines. They then traveled to Grand Bahama, where they met with operators of the Grand Bahama Children's Home and engaged with the children staying there. After a long few days of activities in the Bahamas, the Duke and Duchess departed from LPIA on Saturday night. In a tweet, the Duke said he and his wife thoroughly enjoyed spending time with communities in the Bahamas, Belize, and Jamaica.
2, 1.
Well, it's official. The royal visit in honor of Queen Elizabeth II's Platinum Jubilee has come to an end. The Duke and Duchess of Cambridge touched down on 3 separate islands, tasting Bahamian cuisine and feeling a warm Bahamian welcome. Now, Prince William has said that these days were not long enough, so maybe we'll be seeing him again sometime soon. Until next time, reporting for Jcn News, I'm Tyler Simonet.
Thanks, Tyler. Well, Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture Mario Boleg told reporters today that the Junkanoo rush out in honor of the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge was not only for the royals, but also for the Bahamian people. He says this much amid complaints of the resumption of Junkanoo for the royal couple while the country has been on a 2-year hiatus due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Here's Laurencia Smith with more.
Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture Mario Boleg commenting on the recent Junkanoo parade, the first of such in 2 years, that was on full display on Friday for the royal couple, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. Now, while scores of Bahamians braved the heavy downpour of rain to witness the return of Junkanoo, many question or criticize that Junkanoo was allowed just for the royal visit. But according to Minister Boleg, the Duke and Duchess just came at the right time, and the Junkanoo celebration was not solely for them. The minister says this much following the media's questions about what he had to say to critics who criticized officials for having the parade in the royals' honor.
We didn't only have Junkanoo, this Duke and Duchess. They came at the right time. Once again, it's all about timing. So to the critics, if the Duke and Duchess had come during the time we had a spike, we wouldn't have had no Junkanoo, not under this administration. Again, it wasn't just for them. It was, at the time, again, this was a test and trial as we moved to Labor Day, as we move to the 49th, as we move to the 50th celebration, which we intend to ensure that we celebrate this 50th anniversary of the Bahamas in a grand style, And one of our greatest grand style of celebration and our culture is to show our culture through Junkanoo.
As stated, Friday was the first time Junkanoo was held on Bay Street after being suspended for 2 years due to the ongoing COVID-19 battle here in the country. Minister Boleg admits this.
I can't speak for the other administration. I think they did what they think was best for the country. And I would have agreed with them at that time that the parade would have been a super spreader at that time because COVID-19 was not under control inside this country or anywhere in the world. So it made no sense we having Junkanoo at that time. Fortunate for us, by the grace of God, we were able to take the government over at a time where we did some things that will help reduce COVID.
The cultural minister further noting that the Davis Cooper administration will not put any resident lives at risk and that he's in constant communication with Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Dovell as it relates to any cultural events with large gatherings.
You know, we're going to, the JCNP along with the JNC, right? NJC, sorry, and the NJC, and the ministry is going to do all we can to ensure that we put the necessary protocols in place along with the other stakeholders like the Ministry of Health. And we're going to have Junkanoo not because we worry about the critics. We're going to have Junkanoo because it's what the people want. All we want to do is ensure that we safeguard ourselves, protocols in place, and we don't have no super spreader.
The Garden Hills MP says that his ministry is working gradually towards having other events related to Junkanoo, including the annual Labor Day Rush Out, the Independence Day Rush Out, and the Junkanoo Summer Festival. He also shares that he has not gotten any word of anyone showing interest in Junkanoo Carnival, as it no longer falls under the government, but a private group. He says if anyone is interested, they would have to apply to the Ministry of Health for approval. I'm Laurentia Smith for Jcn News.
Thanks, Laurencia. Minister of Agriculture, Marine Resources and Family Island Affairs Clay Sweeting heads the Bahamas delegation for the 37th Latin American and Caribbean Regional Conference of the UNFAO in Quito, Ecuador. The 4-day conference, where 33 countries are participating, is aimed at producing strategic solutions for food security for the region. Minister Sweeting is expected to deliver remarks on day 3 and 4 of the conference. He also explains why the country's attendance would be beneficial.
So what this does is it helps to enhance our ties with FAO and other ministers across the world globally. We also intend to draft plans where we can work together on one accord, because food security is not a Bahamas issue, but it's an international issue. And we're looking to work together to work along with FAO to secure in respect to the 4 betters, which would be a better lifestyle, better production, better environment, and better food security for all.
The conference starts today and lasts until Friday, April 1st. The regional conference will be a moment in which member countries define the regional priorities to adapt and localize the organization's strategic framework from 2022 to 2031 to the conditions of Latin America and the Caribbean. And the Jones Communications Network annual initiative, Operation Love Your Country 2022, is focused on global climate change, global warming, air pollution, and rising sea levels. The 3-month campaign kicked off with a tree planting ceremony at one of the local high schools. Today, Operation Love Your Country took its initiative to one of the local police stations. Jarino Saunders tells us more in this report.
Operation Love Your Country was back in the community on Monday, this time in southwest New Providence, to plant a number of palm trees at the entrance to the Carmichael Road Police Station as we continue our 2022 national campaign of maintaining and replanting trees in public spaces, helping to mitigate the impact of climate change. In her first public appearance as JCN's newly appointed CEO, Ms. Kimberly Jones says the company continues to be dedicated to its community outreach through programs like Operation Love Your Country, and she had a word of encouragement for residents nationwide.
Well, Operation Love Your Country was started about 2 decades ago, I think. And the reason why it was started is because we saw the need to clean up our environment. And each year, beginning in January, we renew our initiative. We invite corporate sponsors to join us in an effort to keep our country and our surroundings clean. So we ask residents to not only clean up their environment, but for the last few years in particular, with the global effects of climate change, we've been planting trees. And we ask residents to do the same because we know that planting trees will help reduce some of the effects of climate change. So we're happy to be here today at the Carmichael Road Police Station.
Officers from the Carmichael Road Police Station joined in the brief tree planting ceremony. ASP Sonny Miller says the Royal Bahamas Police Force fully supports endeavors like Operation Love Your Country, a concept which he says fits perfectly into the daily service of police officers.
But what I want to say is the initiative that Jones and Love 97 Communication is moving forward with Love Your Country. That is what we speak of as police officers. Our sacrifices every day is simply to show that we love our country. So for us to be able to partner with them, for us to be able to just work together in the planting of the trees, it just not affects the work environment, but it affects the people in the southwestern district that we are responsible for policing. We believe once we can beautify and have a clean, safe, healthy environment, people will be welcome and coming here because we're very customer friendly. We believe in serving our customers to the best of our ability, and we'll continue to do that. So again, I'd just like to thank Jones Communication and Richie's Lawn and Garden for even selecting the Carmichael Road Police Station for this venture.
JCN's Senior Marketing Specialist Kurt Knowles thanked the sponsors and partners of Operation Love Your Country for helping another successful tree planting initiative.
Well, firstly, it's always a pleasure to have not only Beach and Parks as sponsors, but many others. I mean, we do have quite a bit of sponsors. I can't tell you all about them. You listen to Bahamian Experience on Saturday, you'll hear all of them. But today we have two outstanding sponsors, Richie's Lawn and Garden, and Pablo, I call him, my cousin. He comes with us every time, and he does what he has to do, all voluntary, and that is what a good citizen normally do. They come out and they patronize and help to do what we got to do to keep our country a beautiful country. In addition to that, Rocky Farms, as Kim mentioned, is always with us. They're always giving us trees to plant, and so we thank them.
With the summer and rainy season fast approaching, in addition to planting more trees, Operation Love Your Country is reminding residents to not dump old furniture and appliances indiscriminately and to rid your yards and neighborhoods of all breeding habitats for disease-carrying mosquitoes. Jorino Saunders, JCN News.
Thanks, Jorino. Well, that does it for news this evening. Once again, I'm Leah Cooper, and from all of us here at JCN News, have a wonderful evening, everyone.
This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.